And we will start off in a seated position. Any seated position you like that's going to be comfortable for you. And maybe not necessarily always going for that cross-legged position either. Play around a little bit. Sometimes it's something completely different that will work for you. In any case, however way you want to place your legs, sitting up with a long spine, rolling the shoulders up and back, and relaxing the hands. Just put them anywhere at all where it feels comfortable for you. The main thing here is a long spine and a sense of comfort and ease. We'll take a little bit of time here to be quiet. I'll be quiet. We'll take some silence, a chance for you to decompress a little bit. And you know yourself well enough by now. If some deep breaths would suit you, do that. If you just want to close your eyes and luxuriate in the quiet, inner quiet. If it's not quiet around you, just see if you can close your ears to that a little bit, tune inward. Allowing the shoulders to come down a little bit, away from the ears. And allowing this to be an opportunity to enhance good feelings. Maybe just to also shake off anything that's not going well for you right now. It's a nice opportunity to reset, start the day again if you've had a rough morning, or building on a good morning. So very quietly, when you feel like it, introducing a bit of movement into the shoulders, inhaling as you lift the arms out and up, and going in your own time here when you feel like it, maybe reaching up a little bit, wriggle a bit from side to side, lift one hand higher than the other, getting a nice stretch into the side body, let it be nice and casual. The next time when you inhale, just gently, or exhale, float the arms slowly down. And we'll do it again looking for your own rhythm, inhaling to lift the arms up, and then just breathing here nicely, just going for that gentle, casual side stretch. Wriggling the torso a little bit from side to side, kind of as if you want to just push the side body out a bit When the exhalation comes next time, just float the arms down, interlacing your fingers behind your back here, rolling the shoulders up and back. Big breath in. And on the exhalation, maybe lifting the hands away from your back. Just opening across the collarbones here. Particularly good if you've been hunched over a table or a desk during the morning. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. And exhale, slowly release. We'll leave the hands interlaced behind the back. Roll the shoulders up and around again. And one more time, big breath in and lifting the hands away. Same movement as last time. Try not to stick the face forward. That can be the tendency here. Imagine the back of your head in line with your spine. And exhaling, slowly release, just shaking out the arms here a little bit. And then taking your hands to your lap any way at all for the neck. Big breath in. And exhaling, very, very slowly turning to look over one shoulder. And pausing when you've reached your comfortable max here. And exhaling as slowly as you can, turning to look over the other shoulder. And this slow, slow movement allows us to go deeper into the connective tissue and the muscles. Slow movements require the use of more muscles that lie deeper than the big ones just under the skin. Exhaling slowly back. Take your time here. You can kind of forget about how important the neck is unless something happens to it. Big breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. I had whiplash. I knew all about it. I take a lot of care of my neck since I really appreciate the mobility in it. Inhaling, chin up towards the sky. And slowly back, facing forward. And then dropping one ear towards one shoulder. Make sure it's a sideways movement. Inhaling up and exhaling to the other side. And inhaling back up to center. We'll come around to all fours here, padding under your knees if you want to. Fingers spread, and we're going to look for cat-cow here. So we're going to really move through the whole body and then do some strengthening. Big breath in, exhaling, arching the back towards the sky. Inhaling, dipping the belly to look up. And finding here your own rhythm. Make it work for you. One movement, one breath. And sending your mind's eye to your spine here. Really notice where the movement is and what it's doing. And slowly returning to a neutral position. We'll sit back on the heels. Stretch the arms forward here for an extended child's pose. Just to get a nice stretch into the back. And you can maybe begin to just creep the fingers forward a little bit more, taking your time. And when you can't go any further, pause there, take a few breaths. You can have your elbows on or off the ground for this. Breathing deeply, very consciously into the lower back. So just imagine that you're breathing in there. And as you exhale, letting the chest sink a little, relaxing the back a few times. You might find a wave-like motion where you just rise a little bit on the breath in, sinking down a little bit more on each out breath. And then when we inhale, let's come forward onto all fours, and exhale, we'll roll down onto the belly. And keeping this wave-like motion, you can take regular cobra pose if you prefer, but I'm going to suggest hands out, shoulder height, just off your mat. We're up on the fingertips here. Pressing the pelvis firmly down, draw the belly back, squeezing the muscles of the legs. We have to do that to protect the lower back. And then inhaling, just waving up a little bit to strengthen the back body. And exhale, going back down. Inhaling to rise, and exhaling, going down. Repeating this in your own time, following your breath. And you might find that your back is a bit stiff today. You can't get up as high as you usually would go. Don't force anything, just move with ease. The more relaxed you are in your mind, the more the body will relax as well. So we just want to move a little bit without any goal of lifting to a particular height. And if you find that your body isn't really playing along today, instead of getting into a mindset of perhaps being annoyed with it, just go with it and think, oh well, that happens too. I'll do what I can. One more time, lifting up. Let's see if we can hold it up here for a breath or two. A gentle tuck to the chin. And exhaling, slowly releasing down. We'll tuck the toes, hands back under the shoulders. Inhale, strengthen the arms here as you push up to all fours. And yogi's choice, you can sit back into child's pose for your forward fold or arch your back up towards the sky. You could also take a bent knee, downward facing dog as well. We'll just take a few breaths here, whichever version is going to suit you. Then we'll all meet in a neutral position on all fours, taking the right foot up between the hands, going a little deeper now into the hip opener. We started that with child's pose, maybe if you were sitting cross-legged even there. And here, taking a big breath in, and on the exhalation, allowing the hips to sink a bit. Staying here if you feel like that, or inhaling a gentle twist to the right. And exhale, closing that down. And we'll do it again, same side, inhaling, twisting to the right. See where your body goes. And exhaling, closing that down. Sliding back to all fours, and we'll take a round of cat-cow. Inhaling in the neutral position, and exhaling to arch the back. Inhaling to dip the belly down and look up. And exhaling, returning to neutral, stepping the left foot up between the hands. Knee over the ankle. And taking a deep breath in the hip opener. You could always be up on blocks if you like as well. On the exhalation, imagining the hips sinking a little bit. Or even just pausing for a moment if you've been sitting all day so far. It's really nice just to know that you're doing something to counter that. Inhaling, twisting to the left, spinal twist. Exhaling, closing it down. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, open up, same side. And exhale, close it on down. From here, sliding back to all fours. And exhaling, slowly rolling down. Now from here, Superman. Coming back into strengthening. So arms straight out in front. Forehead on the ground. Pelvis down, strong legs. Inhaling, lifting the opposite arm and leg. We did this earlier in the week as well. And exhale to release down. Inhaling the other side. And exhaling down. Now finding your own rhythm with a focus on slow, calm, quality movements. And maybe just holding it up there that little bit longer before the slow descent. The descent is as important, if not more important, than the lift. Here we're really resisting gravity. We need to exert more control even over the muscles, keeping them under tension for longer, thereby making them stronger. Take a break if you need to. You can come back in. And the next time when you exhale and descend, we'll just rest the forehead on the hands here, shake out the hips a bit from side to side. Take a big breath in, sigh it on out. So sometimes people after this movement like to take the big toes together and let the heels come out to the sides. That feels nice for a lot of people. You can give it a go, see if you like it. I know that I don't, but you might. And when you're ready, hands back, under the shoulders, tuck the toes, thinking about strengthening the arms here with this mini push-up. And exhaling, we need a forward fold. I'm going to take child's pose. You could take downward facing dog, either. And taking a few deep breaths in your chosen position. You frequently will come across the question when people find out that you do yoga, oh, are you good at it? I always ponder that for a moment and I think, yeah, I am, because I choose wisely what's going to suit me and what's not. And I know my limitations and I'm okay with that. I'm sure that's not what they mean, but that's my version of it. Big breath in and out. We meet on all fours, coming around to a seated position, and you can work your way down very slowly using the abdominal muscles. If you don't like this, we're all going to meet lying down in a moment, so you can find your way down. So very similar to the Superman movement. We're going to position ourselves in a bridge position, as if we're going to do bridge. And then just bending the right arm into a right angle. And from here, just very, very slowly picking up the left knee and the right hand and moving them both back towards the wall behind you. So the left knee will come in a little over the chest. Maybe your right hand will touch the ground. That's very important. You keep the lower back completely glued to the ground throughout this. And then slowly returning both back down to the starting position. So it's not a massive range of motion, but it's very controlled. We're strengthening the abdominal muscles. The other side, left hand into a right angle, glue the lower back to the ground and slowly begin moving the right knee over your chest and the left hand behind. And returning ever so slowly back to the starting position. So you can, if you really felt that in your abdominal muscles, continue with that. If that didn't do very much for you because they're already maybe pretty strong, stretch out the legs, arms up behind you, belly in, getting the lower back as close to the ground and making your choice, sticking with the first movement or bringing from this position opposite arm and leg together. And then here's the real effort, very slowly, all the way back down, remembering to keep that lower back down and the belly drawn in. And moving over to the other side. So whichever version you're doing, picking the one that suits you, not a care in the world for what anyone thinks about your choice, confident that you're doing the right thing for you. And looking for quality movement here. Very, very slow. It can be so counterintuitive in our society to think that slow is good. Sometimes we need to overcome that. Remind ourselves that simple and slow very much has its place. Taking the time at the bottom of the movement to reset, make sure the lower back is nicely protected, glued to the ground. And we'll make this last one extra slow. So whichever side you're on. Super duper slow. And pausing at the end of the movement, just taking a big breath in and out. And from here, just a little bit more for the abdominals, bringing the feet back into a bridge-like position, unless they're there already, and just sliding the fingers in under your lower back for a bit of extra support. So here's your choice. Lifting the legs up into a right angle, knees over your hips. If you bring them in over your chest, you're releasing the abdominal muscles, so you're not going to get the same benefit. If you can, over your hips, and then just sending them a little further away, you'll feel the abdominal muscles engage and bring them slowly back. Now, if your abdominal muscles are a little bit weak, this is probably already a bit tricky and you want to stay here. If your abdominal muscles are strong and you know it, stretching out your legs, inhaling, lifting the legs up, and exhaling, slowly lowering them down. And again, making that wise choice for yourself. And we'll do it a few times. And just because you can, as you can see, I can do this second movement, That doesn't mean that every time I choose this version, I often do the first one. Sometimes it just doesn't feel great on my back if I do this, and when that happens, I don't do it. It's fine for now. One more. Just making the effort here on this last one to go super, super slow. And taking a nice deep breath at the end of the movement. You want to stretch out the abdominal muscles after you've strengthened them, so bridge pose is going to be perfect here. Inhaling, peeling up, and holding it up there, right up at the top. Try not to inflate the belly out towards the sky here. You want to draw it back towards your spine. To increase the stretch, you can take both arms behind you if you like. Lifting here and exhaling, slowly lowering down. Taking a nice deep breath at the bottom. And inhaling, coming back up into bridge. And remembering to breathe, you don't want to hold the breath here. And exhaling, coming very slowly back down. Now we're going to move one more time in order to stretch out the abdominal muscles. And if you found you were getting enough stretch in bridge pose, then do bridge pose again. I didn't. I feel I need one more. So I'm going to roll over onto my side and come over onto my belly to get a bit of extra stretch for the abdominal muscles. So either taking bridge one more time or lying on your front and coming up here nice and high if that works for you. And that definitely gives a little bit of extra stretch right across the abdominal muscles. Taking a couple of breaths either as I am or in your bridge pose. Both poses doing the same thing, fulfilling the same purpose. And on the exhalation, slowly, slowly lowering down. And if you're on your belly, you can just flip over onto your back. And from there, we'll hug the knees into the chest, massaging out the lower back. And then finding any stretching, any free movement that your body needs right now. Maybe also just wriggling the feet around a little bit, just to get into the ankles and the toes, so that they're not forgotten. And eventually, in your own time, finding your way to stillness, taking the time to arrange yourself into a comfortable position. And when you get there, just taking a few deep breaths. And allowing yourself here a few minutes to restore your energy, to reset a little bit. And enjoying the simplicity of a rest in the middle of the day. Staying here quietly, enjoying your own company for a few minutes. The longer the better.